I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Dedicated to the only serious choice, the gospel of Jesus Christ in music and the spoken word, you're watching Light Source Victory Television Live with me, your host, Pastor Nyesha McCauley, inviting you to sit back and relax for the next 8 minutes as we continue our journey into the life-changing, life-giving, everlasting word of the Most High God. My friends, it is indeed time for the most important 8 minutes of the day. Now, of course, we do it right here at AccessTV.org on Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter, as well as other social media around the world. We broadcast from the greatest city on earth, Hartford, Connecticut, New England's rising star. We do it each and every day, no matter how tired we are, no matter how busy it has been, no matter what is going on, up day, down day, sad day, or glad day, we make sure that we take 8 minutes out of that day for Bible study. And so it is December the 22nd as we wrap up. The day ends here in another 28 minutes, and it's been an extremely busy day, but we're here, and we've got 27 minutes to finish Bible study. All right, so the thing is, you got to do this before midnight, folks, because if you don't, you miss Bible study that day. All right, it ain't that busy that you can't set aside time for God. Did you take time to eat today? I think so. All right. This is where we were when we were last together, and chapter 5 is where we were when we were last together. This is clearly not chapter 5. So let's go up to chapter 5, verse 1. Chapter 5, verse 1. Here we go. This is where we were when we were last together. After these things, or after this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. Sheep market. It's a place where the sheep were sold. Market. There's a pool there. 5 porches. Let us continue. Verse 3. In these lay great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Now, of course, here in the United States, we have what's referred to as the Affordable Health Care Act. And it has been quite controversial. Other countries, societies have various ways that they deal with the sick. But among the industrial nations, some have, public health care. Others have private health care. Some have a combination of the two. But of course, back in this day, they didn't have any health care at all. Okay, so there was like no health care. None. And so doctoring, even at this time, was not that good. Like in George Washington's time, they had like leeching. If you was something bad with you going on, leech your blood. He got bad blood. Leech him. You put the little leeches on you, let them suck the blood out of you and things like that. There was no high tech analysis of what was wrong with you. People didn't even know. Okay, so the best that people could do is pray. The best that they could do is wait for a miracle to happen. And so there was a time when the waters would be troubled by an angel, and the people that could get inside first would be healed. That's what we learn here in verse 4. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatever disease he had. Now, you can get in the water first, you're good. problem is, with so many people sick, there's bound to be a press of the folk to get in the water. Now, you think things are bad now when you have these like sales at Christmas time and Black Friday around Thanksgiving, and they have all these incentives for you to come out to the store, $50 flat screen TV and all these other kinds of stuff. So there's a press of people waiting to get in, the first 20 people to get in. So if people are standing outside in line in the cold for 3 or 4 hours before the store opens at midnight on, the day, Thanksgiving Day, so they can get in and get a special deal. Well, imagine if you were sick and you were trying to get healed. So you put some flesh and blood on it. There's a lot of people trying to get in the water here. Verse 5 tells us that there was a certain man that was there who had an infirmity 38 years. 38 years this guy was sick. 3, by the way, is the number of divine manifestation. 8 is the number of new beginnings. So 3, 30, and 8 years. Verse 6, stop at the screen. Jesus saw him lie there and knew that he had been now a long time in that case. And he saith unto him, wilt thou be made whole? Verse 7. Reading out of the Gospel of John, chapter 5. The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Now, people are funny. Folk could say that they're with you, but then they turn out to be not with you. There's this old saying about your interests, particularly like political, vote your interests. What is in your best interest? Well, there's a certain element of human nature involved in doing what is in one's best interest. Now, most certainly, when it comes to getting healed, it's in your best interest to get in there first. And the chances are you're not going to help someone else get in the water before you get in the water when it comes to getting healed. If someone can afford to pay you to put them in the water, well, the chances are that someone's going to have a bigger ticket or a higher price that they could pay you to make sure they don't get in the water. This is human nature, my friends. Put some flesh and blood on this. These are real people with some real serious issues. And so Jesus says to the man, rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Now we're going to press our way beyond the 8 minutes because this is important. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, it is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. Now, when I say the Jews here, I mean the religious order of the day. All right. Those individuals, the theocracy that was in charge of keeping the people of God, the Jews, while under the control of Rome. So here's the law forbids any kind of any kind of work on the Sabbath day. And so they see this guy walking with his, he's breaking the law. He's carrying a bed on the Sabbath. This is forbidden for you to do this? What are you doing? So he answered them and he said, he that made me whole, the same said unto me, take up thy bed and walk. Verse 12, top of the screen. Then they asked him, what man is that which said unto thee, take up thy bed and walk? Verse 13. And he said, and he that was healed wist not who it was, for Jesus had conveyed himself away. A multitude being in that place. So the place is packed. The press of people is thick. I don't know if you've ever been around places where there's like just so many people you don't know who's there. You just know you're there, and you're just kind of like in the throng of the crowd just moving along. So the guy didn't know who he was. He didn't know. But he believed, and he had faith, and he wanted to be healed, and he was obedient to the Logos of God. Verse 14 tells us that after Jesus findeth him in the temple, he saith unto him, behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing happen to thee. So now the time has passed, a little bit of time, it's the same day. It's later on in the day. Jesus is in the temple, the guy is in the temple. He's making some sort of offering. He's giving prayer. He's thankful. He can now walk. He was sick. Now he can get about. It's quite clear that if he'd been sick for 38 years, that the officials knew of his sickness. They knew that something was wrong with him. So when they saw him walking, one might consider, oh my goodness, you are walking. What has happened? There's a miracle. You're no longer in need of your bed. That'd be like you coming, and there's a guy you've known for 38 years who was in a wheelchair, and then you see him later on, like in the next day, and he's out of the wheelchair, carrying the wheelchair, and you're saying to him, don't you know it's against the law to carry the wheelchair? I mean, wouldn't it just kind of like jump out at you that this guy's healed? But then that's me. What do I know? So Jesus tells him, look, don't do anything that would come short of the glory of God purposely. Don't go out and miss the mark, lest some other thing happen to you, because sin has consequences. You always hear people say, as it relates to politics, elections have consequences. Well, I'm here to tell you, forget the consequences of an election. Sin has consequences. Verse 15. The man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had healed him, or had made him whole. Verse 16. Then it says, and therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. And that's going to be where we have to end, because we're out of time. We're 6 minutes over the 8 minutes. Now, they didn't just up and want to just kill him. Out of the blue. They did decide, well, he healed this person, we need to kill him. No. This had been building. This has been building. And if you've missed any of the 8-minute Bible studies heretofore, you need to go back and watch them. They're all available on accesstv.org, channel 10. It'll bring you up to speed. And the drama and the dilemma, the tension, the conflict of what Jesus was telling people and the Pharisees and what they were teaching people is coming to a head here. Wherever Jesus goes, great crowds follow. People are turning to him and his word. they are being obedient to what he says, to the degree that if he tells them to take up a bed and do work on the Sabbath day, they do it. Now, in the minds of the mucky mucks believe that, well, if he is truly sent from God, then he's going to do everything that need be done in terms of the law, in terms of keeping up appearances. Because, of course, the Pharisees were very much into the external trappings of religiosity, so that they would have a form of godliness. But clearly, here is the earthly manifestation of the Godhead bodily, the Logos of God made flesh, for the redemption of these individuals, but they receive him not. So now they're really in trouble, because the Samaritan woman knew who Jesus was. The people in Samaria, the Samaritans, they knew who Jesus was. He travels all over the place and people hear about him. They heard about what happened in Canaan. They've heard about the situation in the temple where he overturned the money changers' curse. They are hearing all about what Jesus has done. So people are coming to believe in his name because of what he's done, yet the very people who are responsible for making sure that the children of Israel hear the word don't believe. Well, it gets worse, much worse, and we will discover that as we continue. Unfortunately, we are way out of time for right now, so we've got to go. Remember, when it's all said and done, the only thing you need to know is this fact, and that is, of course, that Jesus Christ is Lord of Lords and King of Kings. He alone saves and changes lives. Tell somebody about the program. Share it with friends and family. That's your part in this ministry. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.